What? I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. Woo!
Wrestling Podcast. Let's go, with this. He is broken in half.
And you are just a buck-toothed nepo baby who ate dog food for a weird old man.
Yeah.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
Did he do it? Cover!
Oh, and a kick out.
Unbelievable.
I will never retire.
I'm too hot to handle and too cold to hold. And I am the Macho King Randy Savage.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
It's me, Austin. Whoa!
Bang! Jacob Fatu is all gas. No brakes with it. Yada mean fire!
I said WWE stands for
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey, yo, Pro Wrestling Podcast listeners, welcome to the show where we don't sing it, we bring it. Help us out and click subscribe to show your support. Hey, look, are you sick and tired of dropping $60 to $100 for the latest and greatest wrestling video game? Stop immediately, go to Wrestler Unstoppable, available totally free. Create a wrestler, sign contracts, get into storylines, headline PLEs, even build your own corporation from the ground up, all included in Wrestler Unstoppable. Available now. You got to go to app.wrestlerunstoppable.com. If you want to become a member of the Pro Wrestling Podcast family, you want your name in the shoutouts like John and Emily, then you got to pop over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/Pro Wrestling Podcast. Sign up today. Don't forget we have loyalty rewards. If you are a $15 a month contributor, you can co-host an episode with myself. If you are a $7.50 a month contributor, you can get entered into a drawing to also co-host an episode with me. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you've got questions, comments, anything you'd like us to talk about in a future episode, feel free to call the Pro Wrestling Sound Off line, 267-642-1160. I'll get to those questions or comments in a future episode. That being said, let's get into today's news and rumors. Jacob Fatu. Sometimes you can't even make this stuff up. The storylines you hear about, historically in WWE, always wanting to own intellectual property and whatnot. And, you have guys coming in with established careers outside of WWE and suddenly having to change their names and whatnot to allow WWE to copyright everything. And Jacob Fatu, coming into WWE last year when he got there, apparently they had not decided on what his name was going to be. And according to an interview on Cheap Heat, Fatu was talking about that process of coming to WWE where they eventually allowed him to use his legal name, Jacob Fatu, which to him is a very big deal. It's something where he feels like by using that name and hearing the fans chant Fatu, Fatu, that they are not only paying homage to him, but also his family legacy and lineage. He specifically cites his uncle Rikishi, and that's beautiful. I love that. What is interesting about the interview, though, the part that really grinds my gears, is the fact that they actually had a different name picked out for him, and he revealed that they wanted his original name for WWE to be Caesar Sikoa. I understand wanting to own intellectual property rights and all that stuff, but Jacob Fatu had made a name for himself in MLW and all over the indies. He was a huge star coming in. People recognized him immediately when he hit the scene. And it's not quite as extreme as J.C. Mateo, as Jeff Cobb, things like that. Caesar Sikoa is nowhere near anything to do with Jacob Fatu, and I love the fact that he was talking about how he didn't even know what his name was when he was getting ready to debut, and he's in the backstage area with Triple H having a conversation, and Triple H is the one who said it, you know what, your name is Jacob Fatu. And, he was shocked because his name was supposed to be Caesar Sikoa, and he was just thrilled. Almost like a weightlifting kind of conversation about the fact that he was allowed to carry on the family name. And I love that. I really do. I think WWE needs to do more of that. And I think one of the reasons that Hall and Nash got over so quickly in WCW is because of the use of the real names. And it brings an authenticity. It's less cartoonish. It's less campy. And, you could carry that around with you. And look, we've seen it before. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, people like that who've left the company and come back, made a huge name for themselves on the indies or in other companies. I don't think it hurts WWE at all. And when it comes to licensing and merchandising, when they come in, if they do use their original name, basically WWE licenses the name from them, and that's how people like AJ Styles and stuff like that were able to keep their names. I have no problem with that. I don't know why WWE makes it a big to-do about having to have these ridiculous names. And, we've heard all these crazy names that Mick Foley and Stone Cold and all these things, Charlie McFreeze or whatever it was, that they were thrown at when they were coming in. Can you imagine? Even things like the Ringmaster, which Stone Cold was strapped with for a while, just not good. Just stick with who people really are. No need to go crazy with it, considering the fact that Steve Austin is not his real name. It's Steve Williams. But that's not the point. The point is Steve Austin had been established in world class. He had gone to WCW/NWA, whatever. And then we went to WWE, and you become the Ringmaster. Why? Just let him be Steve Austin. And that worked better. I wish WWE would keep that thought in mind and keep doing things like that. This episode, though, the other thing we want to get into is this weekend we have Saturday night's main event. It should be a fantastic show. And look, people talk about the pay-per-views and how they've been kind of light lately. This show is stacked top to bottom. In terms of a show that should be on, it shouldn't be a pay-per-view level show, but it should be more than a television level show. That's kind of weird space to be in because TV shows have had a lot of championship matches and things like that lately. But it does have a solid card. Let's run down the card, talk about some predictions, and we'll get into that. We're going to start with Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss taking on Jade Cargill, B-Fab, and Michin. I don't know how I feel about the match as a whole. I think this is a feud that needs to get wrapped up because I would have much preferred this six-man tag team match to be with Fatal Influence, but that did not happen. Instead, Fatal Influence is nowhere on the card. They came in with such fervor. They were talking about rewriting creative plans for how over they were getting, and now we're going backwards, it seems, to do this Jade Cargill, B-Fab, Michin thing. I really think this was a miss on WWE's part, and if you really wanted to have Jade and her faction in there, you make it a three-way. I am not opposed to those. As a matter of fact, there's an episode going live in a couple days where we're going to be talking about rewriting WrestleMania's card. There's a lot of multi-man matches that I propose in there. I have no problem with that if the storyline fits or if it gets the people on the show that you really want to see. I think that would be better. But in this case, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, I feel like they have to win because I feel like they are going to have a match with Fatal Influence down the line, and this is going to be the way to set that up. So the official prediction is Rhea, Charlotte, and Alexa pick up the win. Becky Lynch takes on Sol Ruca. We talked about this in the Raw reaction video. If you didn't see that one already, make sure you go check that one out. And make sure you enable notifications so they let you know every time we have a new episode go up. And if you can, drop us a like, drop us a comment, subscribe, all those things. It really does help with the logarithm. YouTube's been funky lately, but back to the matches. Becky Lynch, Sol Ruca. We spoke about it on the Raw episode. Sol Ruca has lost her opening two matches coming to the main roster. That can't keep happening. The match is not for the Intercontinental Championship. So there is no harm, no foul in giving Ruca the win here. Let her pick up a major win over a major talent like Becky Lynch. And then after the fact, it'll lead to a championship match where Ruca won't win, and that's fine as well. But I feel like you have to give her something to make it look like her promotion to the main roster was of value and added something to the brand, and right now we aren't getting that. So my prediction officially is Sol Ruca picks up the win over Becky Lynch. For the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, Brie Bella and Paige, the current champions, after successfully defending against the Judgment Day on Monday night, will be defending against the Irresistible Forces, Lash Legend and Nia Jax. They just got the belts. If Nikki Bella was ready to come back from injury, I would say change the belts right now. Because I do think long-term planning, Nikki Bella coming back and Nikki and Brie turning on Paige and Paige aligning herself with AJ Lee and having that tag team match is a much better storyline. That being said, I would not be surprised to see that at SummerSlam. So if that is the plan, my logic is here, and I'm going to make this my official prediction. Brie and Paige retain because they have to keep the belts because later on, I believe that they are going to do the Nikki turn, where Nikki and Brie will turn on Paige, and the match at SummerSlam will be for the Tag Team Championship. One half of the Tag Team Champions, Brie Bella and her sister Nikki, versus Paige and her partner AJ Lee. And whichever one wins, they take both championships with them. I think that makes a much better storyline. I think it gives AJ Lee something of value to do. And keeping in mind that this is a young lady talking about Paige and AJ Lee, really, who've held the Divas title. Now AJ has held the Intercontinental Championship. Now give her the Tag Team Championship. You could really make her be one of those people who could be a Grand Slam winner on the women's side of things. So that's what I would do. My prediction, Brie and Paige retain. For the WWE World Tag Team Championship, The Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory defend against the Street Profits. And I'm just going to say it the way I have to. One, did not love the tease of anger and frustration of the Street Profits on Monday night unless you're going to pull the trigger on that. Now, you wouldn't pull it on Monday night because you still have to have this match. I think we are getting closer and closer to that split that we've been talking about for years at this point. And I think both wrestlers will be just fine. I think they both can compete as single stars if we do the split. For that reason, Saturday Night's Main Event always has these weird things that happen. I'm going to predict that is the night the Vision are going to retain, and that's the night the Street Profits are going to officially finally split up, and we're going to see the Street Profits separate and go their separate ways. Now, who goes face and who goes heel, that's really debatable. It'd be easy to say Angelo Dawkins goes heel. I think that makes a lot of sense. Because he's the bigger, thicker, bruiser kind of guy. But then again, Montez Ford was the one who seemed irate on Raw. So maybe Montez Ford is the better one to go heel. I don't know. But that is the prediction. They separate at this show after losing to the Vision, which is kind of a shame after they've been off TV for so long. But it is what it is. Then we get to the Intercontinental Championship. Penta versus Ethan Page. And here's the deal. I love that Paul Heyman is so high on Penta. When you watch WWE Unreal, he has nothing but good things to say about him, and I think Penta has a bright future in WWE, and if they strategically place him correctly, he could be at the top of the card. Ethan Page probably could be too at some point, but the reality is, Ethan Page would do well to win this championship. Do I really want to see Penta lose it this soon after winning the championship? Not really. He's doing a great job with it, and great for representation purposes. Ethan Page, he had the NXT Championship. He had the North American Championship. I don't feel like he has to have another championship, but Triple H does like to, celebrate his shiny new toys. Does Ethan Page walk out with a championship victory here? My official prediction? He does not. Penta retains. Keeps the Intercontinental Championship. Ethan Page can lose his mind, go crazy. I think he is meant for bigger things. To be quite frank with you, I think he's somebody who would be a great candidate to join the Vision. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But I don't know. And that is our predictions for Saturday Night's Main Event. One last thing I'm going to throw out there. I don't know if anybody noticed it, and I did not originally notice. I had to see it on the replay. But if you watched Raw, thought it was interesting with the LA Knight Seth Rollins segment in the back when they're out by the production trucks, where there was almost like a tease. If you look in the background, when LA Knight was saying, basically Seth Rollins needs to find some allies, and he walks away, behind Seth Rollins, immediately behind him, on the production truck was a picture of The Rock, looking almost like he was looking at the camera. Now, they don't do a lot of this recently unless somebody's going to be involved in something. Now, I'm not saying The Rock's going to come back and side with Seth Rollins, though I think that would be rather interesting, to be honest with you. But he has no reason to get involved with the Vision. No priors, no issues, no nothing. And Bronson Reed's not out right now, so it's not like you really need the big heavy hitter appearance by The Rock. So we'll have to wait and see how things play out. But I did think it was worth noting, because there are websites online who are talking about that, and it is definitely something that is intriguing. That's all the time we have for this episode. Check back with us next episode, run down the latest wrestling news and rumors. Special thanks, as always, to Suno for creating the music and sound effects we use in our show. Today's show is sponsored in part by Beazle Games. Bring a new friend to family game night. It's easy with sketchy people. Showcase your artistic side in this from Beazle in this game by Beazle Games by going to thegamecrafter.com and picking up your copy today. If you're looking for your next career move, you're considering college or university life, maybe you just need some formal training for your next career decision, go to our website at frolifeplanning.com for all your higher education needs, as Fro Life Educational Planning is for today, for tomorrow, and for life with Fro Life. I'm Fred Froelich, better known as Dr. Fro. I want to thank you for taking some time with us today. Until next time, take care. Have a great night, everybody.
Wrestling Podcast.